Hi, this is Steve Fitch. I play with your Phoenix Symphony. My title is Associate Principal Timpanist, Percussionist, and Drum Set Performer. And I've been with the Symphony for 37 years. And I'm going to stay there until I get it right. This is a kind of a new series the Symphony is doing called Lifelong Learning. And I'm going to show you a couple things that I do to stay young as a performer, as a drummer. And I'm going to be talking predominantly today about the snare drum. It's kind of the center of all of our percussion playing. Think of it like a drum set, right? At the core of that drum set is that snare drum. And it's really a lot of what we do technically for all the instruments that we play, we work on this instrument. So I'm going to play a couple of short warm-ups for you, just to show you how I like to warm up. And that's got a lot of paradiddles in it, and paradiddle diddles, and those are paradiddle, 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 paradiddle. Okay, and here's a bit of a flam warm-up from Fred Sanford. So there's a lot of ways to practice the drum. We have things called rudiments. They're kind of like the scales of drumming. The double stroke roll, that's 2 on each hand. There's a single stroke roll, 1 on each hand. We mentioned the paradiddle and the flams. Flams are just a little bit of an ornament, a little bit of a thickening of the downbeat with one grace note. But what I want to talk about today is what some people call the fountain of youth of drumming. It's the molar system. Sanford Augustus Molar didn't invent this system. He says that, he didn't invent it. He observed Civil War drummers and what they were doing with their arms when they were playing. They had to play outdoors in terrible conditions all day long, and some of them started listening to their bodies and doing the right thing for their body. So here's a little bit of molar technique. Okay, that's a molar 3. Now, what's happening here is I'm playing one note, and then through the use of arm movement, starting at the shoulder and picking the elbow up, bringing the stick inward towards my body, I'm getting 2 more notes for free. I'm playing that first note, absolutely, letting it rebound, then moving my arm. And those second and third notes are absolutely for free. I'm not playing them. Then with the left. And that whipping that we do, leading into the notes that we play, that whipping negates tension in the arm. Here I'm offsetting the molar. Now, keep in mind, I'm only playing this. and I'm getting this. Hi Luna, that's my cat Luna. I don't know if she made it into the picture, but she's not shy, and she might take over for me and finish this video. So molar technique is using the entire arm to stay relaxed. You also, when you're doing molar correctly, you can't be holding the stick too tightly. It just doesn't work. It kind of changes where the fulcrum point is too. It changes it from here to more like that, okay? So I love that you can't hold the sticks too firmly when you're playing molar. The traditional military way of playing snare drum straight up and down and into the drum. It's a militaristic thing, because in military drumming, it's all about precision and trying to get 6, 7, 8, 9 drummers playing exactly the same and in perfect rhythmic cleanliness, right? So they all sound like one drum. That's the military approach. So any drum corps, marching band, anything else, the roots of their activity came from the military. And I also don't think that the sound quality when you play that way is as good as with molar, because molar has a bit of a the tip of the stick travels a little bit across the head, not a lot, but enough, as opposed to so the tip isn't constantly hitting in the same spot and having every subsequent note dampen the note that came before it. That gets kind of a hammery, kind of this woodpeckery sound, whereas molar has you doing this. So the drum resonates better. Those are molar 2s. Molar 2s are playing one note and getting one for free. If we offset it, we get molar 2s offset. And the coolest thing about this is you can offset those molar 2s 4 different ways. You can offset by playing 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 2, 1, 1. And the only notes you're really playing are the 1 and the 2. The 3 and the 4 are for free. Or you can play the 2, 3. 2, 3. Or the 3, 4, 1, 3, 4, 3, 4. And the fourth one, 4, 1, 4, 1, 4, 1. It's super economical and easy on the body. You can play a lot faster with much less tension or firmness of grip. I would rather play like this than this. You can hear the difference even on this silly phone video. I'm sure you can hear the difference between those two. So I love molar. I'm working on a technique now that combines double strokes the way Freddie Gruber in Los Angeles played them, going from French grip to American. And any 3 strokes, three notes in a row, I'm molaring those. When I do that, I feel like that's what my body wants to do, as opposed to playing the military way of just straight into the drum. Don't get me wrong, that's the best way to get 7 drummers to play exactly together, okay? Because you can tell everybody your taps are this high, your accents are here, your grace notes are down here, and you can, that's called the level, different levels, level system. And the piston stroke, straight up and down. But I like the molar. I like using my whole body. It just feels better. And I want to be able to drum into my 90s and beyond. So we can do also molar 4s. set, and I'm just playing this and getting this. So I think it's really, really an important technique for drummers to learn. Otherwise, we're just working too hard and not smart. Okay? Little bit of a shameless self-promotion here. One of the advantages to working in a symphony orchestra like the Phoenix Symphony, with all my wonderful colleagues there, is that we have the summers off. And a lot of our musicians go off to summer festivals, the Tetons or Santa Fe Opera or Chautauqua or what have you. And sadly, many of those festivals have been canceled, or if not all of them. But so have the Olympics, so has basketball, so everything has been canceled. But even before COVID, we in the Phoenix Symphony do not play in the summertime, and that has given me the time to write books on drumming. So I've written a book called Fantastic Hands, okay, and I use these at the Grand Canyon University with my students. The sequel to that book is called Flam Pathways to Drumming Fluency. A lot of great drummers and percussionists around the world gave me testimonials in this one for all of the books. My drum set books are Fantastic Feet. It's published by Mel Bay, so it's Fantastic Hands. And the sequel to that, Drum Set Freedom, with a nice little blurb here from Peter Erskine, giving me a testimonial. What I do with these drum set books is kind of unusual. I train regular drummers with a double pedal. You don't have to have a double bass drum pedal to do these books. You can do it with the bass drum and the hi-hat. But I just find that we develop our skills north to south and try to equalize those forces so that the left foot knows what the right hand is doing when you're playing drum set, because you've made the feet do a lot of these snare drum type rudiments and things. I find that you have a better overall solidity to your playing and a better groove. Because the summers are long and hot, I also wrote a couple of addendums to my drum set books. This one is Advanced Swing Systems to help people with their up-tempo swing and with their swing comping on drum set. And this one is called Tom Twisters. Now, I've dedicated this one to my teacher at Oberlin, Mike Rosen, because he twisted me up with his marimba exercises a whole lot. So I'm twisting him up now with a thing called Tom Twisters. That's a book that gets you around the drum set in many, many different ways and twists you up in a good way so that you are getting to that part of the drum set with the most economical motion, okay? So this one's dedicated to my teacher at Oberlin, Michael Rosen, and he's still teaching there, by the way. This one's dedicated to my teacher at Eastman School of Music, John H. Beck. He's since retired, but he's still very active and still teaches a course in percussion history at Eastman. So that's been one of the joys of playing in the Phoenix Symphony for me, is having those summers free to do projects, like go to Europe. And I did that for about, 14 years in the 90s and into 2005. And that was a blast. I got to play with a percussion trio and play with North German Radio Orchestra and a bunch of other orchestras and record with the trio and teach with the trio in Bayreuth, Germany. It was just a wonderful experience. And I met my wife over there. So playing in the symphony has been super enriching for me, musically and just in so many ways. I've been able to play and perform with some amazing guest artists and conductors and singers and dancers and what have you. So I'm looking forward to getting back with my colleagues and playing for you guys sooner than later, I hope. But we want everyone to be safe. And it's hard when you're a musician and you can't go and perform. It's like you're all dressed up and with nowhere to go. But we're also blessed because my cello colleagues can practice Bach and play and even make recordings and upload them and to Facebook. And our harpist, Heidi, in the symphony has been doing that every day. Pretty much every day, recording something on the harp and uploading it to Facebook. It's wonderful. So we at least have our instruments to practice and keep getting better at. And I know the symphony is putting together an I Love You Arizona tape using everybody in the symphony, and that's going to be fun to hear. Anyway, stay safe, everybody. I'm done talking right now, and I hope you guys have a wonderful summer, and I hope to see you as soon as possible, hopefully in the fall. Bye-bye.